Hi, welcome to Studio 14. I'm Ginny Sawyer, and with me here today is Susan Leahy, spokesperson for the Lincoln Center, to discuss the upcoming season. Susan, welcome.
Hi, Ginny. Thanks.
We're here to talk about your new season, getting ready to start here when?
Our first show is going to be October 10th through 12th, and that is Elvis Lives, the ultimate Elvis tribute event.
In our hearts, the music lives on. And in our memories, the king is not forgotten. Elvis Lives, the ultimate Elvis tribute artist event. The icon lives on and proves he's still the king.
Wow. All Elvis all the time?
It is. You know, it's funny, Ginny, when I was sitting in my office this morning and I was trying to figure out what shows I wanted to tell you about today, I felt a little bit like the guy on Leno who brings the animals, and he has to decide which animals to leave in the cage and which ones to bring, because I couldn't decide what shows I wanted to tell everybody about today. We have so many great shows this year and such an exciting season planned. So I brought a couple shows to tell you about, and I had to leave most of our shows back at the office. But this is truly one of the best seasons I think we've had.
Well, so break it down. So typically you have certain series, true? Like things come in showstopper, dance series. So what are all the series first?
It's true. We have our Showstopper series, which typically has a couple of our Broadway musicals and then some other exciting things that we sprinkle in.
Okay.
And that series has 4 shows over 3 days. So there's a Thursday night, a Friday night, a Saturday matinee, and a Saturday night.
Oh, okay.
Then we have our Anything Goes series, and that really is just like it sounds. It's 3 shows spread over the season, and we just put things on that we think are going to be pretty spectacular, but they're very different, so it truly is just like it sounds. Anything goes.
Okay.
Then we have our Imagination series, and that series is geared toward families. They're affordable, typically a $12 ticket, sometimes a little bit more depending on the show and what we were able to get. They're 2 o'clock or 6 o'clock on a Saturday.
Oh, nice.
And there's a few changes to that series I'll talk about in a little bit, but it's just a really great series. Classy, interesting shows that are fun for the kids and fun for the whole family. We figure if the parents don't want to come, nobody's going to come.
I went to that cat show once that I think is part of that.
It's a really fun series. We also have our dance series. We have our classical music series. And those are our series.
Wow, that's more than I thought. Okay, so you have hand-selected a few we really want to talk about, so I'm going to turn it over and then maybe tell us which series they're a part of, as well as how we would get tickets.
Yep, I'd be happy to do that. We also, not on our series, we have about 8 or 9 specials.
Oh.
So we do almost 65 shows a year between all the series shows and then the specials. Those are shows that cross our desk that we just think are too great not to present.
Okay.
And so we have some amazing specials this year too. One thing I do want to mention is that in addition to the series, which you can always buy, we do have something called our Pick 5. And that's a way, if you see shows that are just so great that you want to get your hands on them, but you want to buy them in advance, you can save about 10% off the single ticket price.
Oh, that is nice.
And so I know you were looking at the brochure before
I
the show came on. There's the brochure and you were like, I should buy a couple of these. And then instantly you saw, well, I could buy 5 and I could save 10%. And that's a great way to do it because we found that when people buy in advance, they're more likely to go to them. So it's a way of treating yourself and saying, I'm going to commit to these shows in advance. And then you save 10%. So it's a way of getting them on your calendar, getting the best seats, because when you do buy the series, you get the best seats before they go on sale to the public with single tickets.
Oh, okay. All right, so if you do the buy 5, you can buy across the series. It doesn't matter. I could do a dance show, I could do an Anything Goes, I could do Elvis.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Whether it's a $12 ticket or one of the musicals, which can have the higher prices, you can have any show, 5 of them or more. Feel free to buy 20. You can
always the option.
Knock yourself out, Ginny. You
Excellent.
can have as
I'm going to
many
get
as you
some
want.
culture going on.
Absolutely. So you asked what show is our first.
Yeah.
Our first show is Elvis, and this
Okay.
Elvis Lives, and this is a really cool show because it is the only Elvis show that is endorsed by I've got to look at my notes, the Elvis Presley Enterprises Ultimate Tribute Arts event. So this one is endorsed by the Elvis people, by Graceland Enterprises. And they put on an annual contest to find the best Elvis tribute artists. So this is from the folks at Graceland and from the folks at the Elvis Tribute Artists.
So it's not one Elvis impersonator is not going to be the tribute artist.
Yes.
Sorry.
We have no Elvis impersonator.
So it's multiple.
Yes, the term we're using at our office is Elvi. The
Elvi.
3 Elvi.
That's great.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's actually the 3 Elvi, and it's across his lifestyle. So it's a musical journey of his life. So you get him at the 3 different stages of his life. When he's a little bit younger, kind of very young, middle, and then a little bit older.
Okay.
And it's got the backup dancers and the music. And I know this is a cliche, but if you like Elvis, you're going to love this show. It's got all that energy. And it was a Broadway show. So this was the show that appeared on Broadway, and it's going to be great.
Excellent. That's exciting. I would probably know more of those songs than I think I know once I was sitting in the audience. All right, what else are you excited about?
Now, this one's going to be very, very different. This is based on the book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus.
Ah.
You heard about that book?
I have heard about it.
Well, you and 50 million other people.
Okay.
This was the best-selling book. It's been translated into 40 languages.
Kidding.
50 million people. It was by the author John Gray.
Okay.
Now it's touring the country as kind of a cross between stand-up comedy and theater. So they've fused the two.
Ah.
And this one's for, what I've heard, it's for adults only, but people will be leaving the audience giggling like kids.
That's a good tag.
So we've been warned that it's definitely mature content because it takes people from dating to marriage and then things I'm not allowed to talk about here.
Okay.
But I've heard that it's very, very funny, and I've seen some footage, and
I bet it's hysterical.
You know, and I should tell you, that's one of the best parts of my job. I am very lucky because I have one of the funniest jobs ever. I could tell you backstage stories, and maybe if you tease me later, I might tell you a few.
Okay.
But I get to watch, part of my job is watching tapes of shows that the agents are trying to get us to look at.
Yep.
And then tapes of what we're going to put on for marketing. But I've seen clips of this show, and it is November 15th on a Friday night, so perfect date night.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And, you know, sometimes people will ask me a lot, you know, who makes the buying decision? Who decides whether to come to what show?
I was going to ask.
I bet you.
I know.
Sure. You know, a lot of times I hear women, and but this is one that the women won't have to drag their guys to, I bet, because this one makes fun of everybody, I think, men and women.
Good.
But I don't think the men will have to feel slighted on this one because this is definitely for men and for women.
That is fun. Actually, my question was going to be who puts the full package program together? I mean, obviously you get amazing caliber programming, and that must start way ahead.
You know, it's true. We actually do our programming about a year ahead.
Okay.
I just came back from a conference in Los Angeles 2 weeks ago, and we are starting to program for our 14-15 season right now.
So it does take some time.
It does. It's about a 6-month process. Mm-hmm. We start now, and we have to have it complete because that brochure that you have on your lap right now, that comes out in May, and we have to have it finalized. Sometimes it's a little down to the wire.
Yeah.
But we have to have all of that programming done by about February for the following year. So we'll start right now and start programming for the next 6 months for the next season.
Wow. So it's ongoing and constant.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
All right. What else? I'm going to ask because I'm looking at the cover and I see Natalie Merchant right here.
Yeah,
Tell me about that show.
That's an awesome show, and one of the things that's most unique about that show, or I should say most special, is that Natalie's going to be playing with our own symphony, with the Fort Collins Symphony.
Oh, wow.
And that's really cool. They will actually rehearse with her that afternoon and perform with her that night.
You seem more beautiful to me as a girl in pink on a milk white horse, cantering over the sunless floor.
Wow.
And I'm really excited about that. I think it's going to be really unique to be able to combine that local angle with that local community feel with a star of that caliber. what's been really rewarding about that is that show is selling like hotcakes.
Okay.
It's one of 3 shows on our season already that is well on its way to a sellout. And so that's the one thing I would say to anybody watching this show is that show, and I'll even tell people what they are since they're watching.
Yeah, let's hear it, I know.
Natalie Merchant, Bela Fleck and Chick Corea, and Momix are looking to be pretty strong sellouts. So those 3 in particular, if people are wanting seats, they shouldn't dawdle.
Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Wow.
And
Those are all really exciting ones.
They are. And there are hottest sellers right now, which doesn't mean that the others won't catch up. But I hate for people to be left out.
Right.
I've been there 2 years ago when Momix was here. I was in the lobby when people were literally just begging for tickets. And as someone who also works in marketing, that's great for me to see, but you feel so badly for people when they want to get in.
Yep.
So people will want to get tickets now.
And with the scheduling, I mean, it's never we'll add another night. That doesn't really happen.
It's really hard, because those shows, they're here and then the next night they're there and the next night they're there. So it's not something we can do even as much as we would like to.
I know. We need to plan. Okay, so what else did you bring down to the show to trot out here?
Another cool one that we have that's coming up in November is the 2-Man Group, which is 2 of the 4 people on the show Whose Line Is It Anyway?, which has just been renewed on the CW channel. You might remember the Whose Line Is It Anyway with Drew Carey. We have Colin Mockery and Brad Sherwood, and they're comedians. And I actually caught the show a few years ago at another theater, and I won't tell you which one, 'cause it's not nearly as cool as the Lincoln Center. It was before anyway. But it's a great show, very funny. Can be a little bit blue, but for the most part, very, very funny. Great for all audiences. But they do a bit at the very end where they're blindfolded with mousetraps that to this day is one of the funniest things I've ever seen on stage. They put 100 mousetraps on the stage, and then they're blindfolded. And I can't even tell you. I mean, I don't know if I've ever laughed as hard.
Oh my God, okay.
So that one is on our Showstopper series, so there will be 4 performances of it. And I should tell you that for anybody that wants to look at any of our shows, there's videotape of all of these shows and great information about all of these shows on our website at lctix.com. So you just go to the website, you can click on the show, and then you can see written information on the show, you can see videotape of the show, and you can frequently see press reviews of the show, interviews from the artists on the show. So it's a great way to do your backgrounding and see what shows interest you.
And I assume you can buy tickets right online at that same website?
I'm so glad you asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, not only can you buy tickets, but you can also choose your seats.
Oh.
So you can see the whole auditorium, and then you can say, well, I'd like to sit here, I'd like to sit there. And so it's a great way to look online and buy your tickets and see where you'd like to sit.
That's great. And I divert a little bit, but some of that all happened, and some of these efficiencies in website happened with the building renovation. And how far into that renovation are we?
It's been 3 years since the renovation, and I have to say, if there's anybody left out there that hasn't been there since the renovation, you've got to go there. I know you've been there since the renovation.
It's beautiful.
Have you seen some big changes?
Yeah, huge changes. It's relaxing, and it's a nice space, and it's easy to get around. And obviously, we talked a lot about this early on. More bathrooms are fantastic. More bars set up are fantastic. Yeah. All of that. Yeah. And it's helped with the caliber of show you bring in, too. Is that true?
It didn't really change so much the caliber of the show, although it did help from a rental perspective because it got us on the radar of the national promoters who are interested in bringing in their stars.
Okay.
I think from my perspective, it really did change the experience of people who come, of patrons who come in. It just changed, the vibe changed so much.
Yeah.
I see people come in, the lobbies are so much bigger. And then the one thing that is huge are the acoustics. Mm-hmm. They're vastly improved. And so that really changes things.
Especially with some of these that you've mentioned, like a Natalie Merchant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, Bela Fleck and Chick Corea, and then John Batiste and the Stay Human Band is coming November 1st.
Oh, and I saw, what was the other one that I thought was National Tour Memphis.
Memphis is amazing.
Experience the excitement, the love, the rhythm, the rebellion, the passion, and the music of Memphis. Memphis, it lives in you.
That's about bringing music to the airwaves and the conflict. It's an amazing show, just amazing.
And a lot of music with that.
A lot of music, jazz music, so beautiful.
Oh, exciting.
Just wonderful.
And I do want to ask an example of the Anything Goes and an example of the it's not all for kids, but kind of kid.
The Imagination
series, yeah.
Well, Mars and Venus is on Anything Goes, but an example of how diverse that series is that the second show on that series is the Extreme Canine Stunt Dogs.
Oh, fun!
So really we just swing the other way and we show these stunt dogs who are all rescue pups, and they do these hysterical and amazing tricks. So that series really is so different.
That is fun.
And you can either buy the series, and it's a very affordable series this year. I think it's like $64. So you can get 3 shows on that series, and it's just a lot of fun. So that is, Stunt Dogs is a blast. I have seen that show, and it's crazy and definitely great for families.
Yeah.
The Imagination series, the first show on that series is the Golden Dragon Acrobats. And that is October 19th, yes.
Okay.
That is the award-winning acrobat show. Breathtaking, beautiful costumes, just lovely. And one thing I wanted to mention to you is we did change that series a bit this year.
Oh, okay.
Historically, that series was January through May. And we used to really keep that series, January, February, March, April. But what we decided this year was, rather than let the tail wag the dog and just say, well, we're only going to pick those 3 or 4 months and we're only going to look for programming that is in those months, we thought, well, that's a little silly. This year we're going to look for the best programming. Yeah. And Golden Dragon is a prime example of that. That was only available in October.
Oh, okay.
So we wanted that show so badly. It's such a great, great program. It's kind of a mini Cirque show.
Meaning Cirque du Soleil
type mini for families, a $12 ticket, and actually it's a $15 single price, 12 on the series. And I thought this is a phenomenal opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's a 1-hour show, so children as young as kindergarten age can sit through it and love it. And so we booked that show on October 19th.
That is fun.
Yeah, great. And then the other 2 shows on that series I think are going to be equally exciting. We've got the Mark Nizer 4D juggling show, so they'll come with 4D glasses.
4D?
And I don't know what the 4th is, but I'm sure it's very important, that 4th one.
Absolutely.
And then the 3rd show on that series is Tap Kids with these really talented tap dancers.
Gosh, there's such a variety there. There really is something for everyone, it seems.
Yep. Yeah, there will be.
All right, well, you've probably got me sold. Look for me at least 5 shows this year.
Can't wait to see you, Ginny.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
jikele mva kwethu sezozalo makoti usayiwe sidlone phasalo salobola ngenkomo zaphelela zonke makoti jikele mva kwethu akakhulumi lonke.
Perhaps the greatest musical ever written returns to the stage where it all began. West Side Story.
We have musical, we have classical music, we have authentic music, we have pop music, we have the singers, we have dancers. They're young, they're hot.
Says you'll catch me where